We need to get our children involved. I have another question. One of them is, I would like to Director Ken talk about the Missouri River resource and the finance. Can you expand on that? Thank you.
Yes, thank you for that question. Dave Williams, Dave Williams, he's the CEO of the Missouri River Resources. This has been his dream and goal, was to create an oil and gas company for the MHA Nation and the 3 affiliate tribes. And he does have about 13 years of experience in the oil field, working for Chevron down in Texas. And he brings that experience to the tribe. And it's following the Southern Youth model, like I mentioned in my speech. The Southern Youths, their resource was coal bed methane. And I got a chance to hear their story. And when they first started, they were just dreaming and what they envisioned, how their reservation could be. That's kind of where we're at right now. The money is coming in, and the wealth is going to increase, because we're just getting started into the development stage. I think the allottees broke the 20 million mark just a few months ago. The tribe distributed about 5 million in 1 month. And the projections are just going to grow each month, each year. But what they said, how they were successful, was they had leadership with vision and leadership and consistent leadership. And it took a better part of 10 years to build that trust with your allottees. But now, 20 years later, we're a $3 or $4 billion industry. And they operate in 22 states and in the Gulf of Mexico. And they have a legacy fund or a growth fund, we call it. It supports the education for their tribe. It supports housing, economic development. That's what they call a legacy fund. And that's what Missouri River Resources is trying to get to. And I think with the Bakken play that we're in, we can get there a lot quicker than the Southern Youths. It took them 20 years. But the Bakken is a lucrative oil field. It's the biggest oil field in the U.S. And the opportunity is now. The opportunity to create economic development, to support housing, to support education, everything that everybody's mentioned today. The opportunity is now. That window of opportunity is open. And it's time to start to invest in all that money that's coming in to get to that legacy, that growth that the Southern needs have. So I hope I answered your question, but that's what the model that Missouri River Resources follow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. Good evening, I'm Donna Morgan. I wish each of you candidates well. When candidate Titus stood up, he mentioned working on the Constitution. There is a committee, the Constitution, called the Constitutional Report, and we have representatives from each segment. One comment that was made from one candidate was the finances were included in that Constitution. We're taking things step by step. As you recall, a few years ago, they did the whole Constitution, and that was turned down completely. But there was a young man that stood up here, and that was Kurt. Mentioned recall. And vacancies. I appreciate your comment, Kurt. You had to hear something, or I don't know where you got your information, Eagle promoted and supported this. So I appreciate the council doing this. But I have a little, it's just a little note here of what we're doing. We've met with the Bureau and we've condensed everything down. We don't want to be criticized. This is, a lot of this stuff, these amendments are going back to the communities. It's going to be when it passes on the ballot on November 6th. It will be left up to the communities to make a decision. And I think this is a step forward for each of us. And I appreciate Kurt for doing that. We did not recall that be a new addition if the people pass it on the ballot November 6th. So I have a few copies, and I would like Kurt to come and get a copy. And I know you're going to pass it out and get it to as many people as you can. So thank you very much for doing that. Good luck to each of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Very courageous group here to put themselves out there and be considered for leadership. We got any questions for you? Okay.
Thank you, Leslie. I just want to make a question now that you told me. First of all, encouraging each and every one of you, the Comanche for running Whitney. And Scott, thank you for stepping back up again. And Grandpa Kenny, we talked about this a while back. And Sue, you came to my home, thank you for that. Taking that time out to do that. And my grandfather, Bannister, I'd like it for you, brother. The good things you're trying to do, the good things you have to say, and we're down. Thank you too. I think that one of the things that my question to, I'd like to see a comment from Kenny and a comment from Vance on this is, when you do a code of ethics and you don't follow it, then what is your idea on how we can remedy that situation? Because we can have the best code of ethics for our tribal leadership, and if we don't follow it, what good is it? But I'd like to hear a couple comments from you, both of you, being one in law training, and then Kenny, you're right, the Department of Energy, because, it's not worth the paper it's printed on, if that's the case. And I'm starting an economic development corporation, and I want to know if you would be able to support it, because it's the people investing right here. And so not to put you on the spot like that, but I know that we've had good long discussions, Kenny, and I know Vance there is not trained too in this particular question, because everybody can say all these wonderful things and have all these wonderful ideas, but then when you don't follow the law that you, the council itself, created, what is your remedy for that? What's the purpose? And I'd like to hear those comments, if you will. And I also want to ask if you would support my development corporation, Vance or Kenny. Thank you.
Thanks for the question. I think with the code of ethics, I know that some of the people that I visited in the last few weeks is they really want a code of ethics committee to be able to oversee and look at a lot of the decisions that the council is making. And we all know a lot of us are directors, and we all know that policies or whatever rules you set, that they're only as good as the people that enforce them. And if we're going to set an ethics committee, then we better follow it. And so that goes to what Elgin said earlier about integrity and about being honest and doing what's right. And so we don't know if we have an ethics committee or not. A lot of times that committee should be objective, it should be unbiased. And so, especially with the oil play now that's going on, we know that the ethics is very important when it comes to voting proposals and joint ventures, whatever we're talking about. Ethics is very crucial. And as far as supporting the economic development, I know that Jeff Staff was, I missed the first meeting, but I was able to attend the assembly about a month ago. And I think they have a good plan in place, and I do support it. And I think that they're heading in the right direction. I think they just need more involvement in the rest of the segments. And the more people know about it, what your vision is and what your mission is, I think they're more apt to support it. So that's kind of my take there. So hand it over here to Vince.
On the ethics side, there is an ordinance on the books, but the problem is that it's not functioning. There's a couple other boards like that. So what it takes to the people is basically demand that we follow that law. One prime example right now is half of our council works for oil companies. They're running for oil companies, or they have contracts. On one hand, they have contracts with oil companies. On the other hand, it's supposed to regulate it. That's a conflict. That has to be addressed. In other words, they're benefiting themselves, but what about the people? Citizens, chat, tenants, banks, those issues related to the budget, money, besides ethics. And the ethics law is not going to regulate everything. The voters do it every 4 years. They're in or out. But Carol's right, this law should be enforced. Because you know, as their ethics board, basically it's like gaming commission, they have teams, they function. But the ethics board we have, the try to rework pretty broad, but at least make it operate. We do need it. On the economic development arm, for some reason our federal projects have just not worked. Big views, housing, manufacturing, big elephant example, $10 million thing. The success story is the casino. It works good. It's a lot of money. Puts a lot of money goes across the street from house. And see my theater. I like the concept of Carol and our group is doing the separate group. They're the ones who make some more done. Let them run. Then the council is dictating to them. Council should help fund them, but you don't need to run everything. Susan had a good point. The C-store. How come we don't have the other areas like that? It's pretty basic. Milk, bread, gas. I'm trying to overlook these things. That's what Carol said. You know, we all sure how much you need.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, all.
Not a very political person, but I just hear and see what the charter is doing, and all the people are saying we got a lot of money, we can do this, we're going to do that, but they never see anything. The people never see anything. And I've heard, why, if we have all that money, why are we just getting these little trailers that are mobile? Then when we try to go get help, they say, oh, your income's too high, or this is not enough, or you got to get papers. Why is it when we get all this money, they still can't help us? And if we need a car, like you said, we don't need like mechanics and stuff like that around here. But they charge an arm and old lady. And I have to give my grandchildren to the child welfare because we're not able to do it because they have a car. And I want to know too, is like, kind of people here. Peace for the young people. And I also say, like at the age of 18 to 35, nobody has somewhere to go but on drugs and alcohol. And we want more bars. And it's a quite a thing against why we have treatment centers when the people get told to have business like more bars, more drugs, and all these, even down to what, 13, 14 years of age are getting on drugs because they can't help, they can't work, they're getting on school because of the drugs and alcohol. So why hasn't anything been done about that? And I like to reflect on Kurt said, too, also, he listened to the elders too. How many of you guys listen to your elders? How many of you guys got elders to listen to? I heard that there's not very many elders. And maybe that's just what you're doing, is just listening. Like the little kids who tell them, no, don't do that, because one ear comes out the other. That's another thing. So if we had more things for them, from 18 years old, even 15, all the way up to like 35, have more jobs and everything, go to college, and like we all have been saying, like I said, a lot of people say not me when they get in there to their jobs. So, if they and why, instead of being wicked or being like traders or whatever they got, hey, this is North Dakota, and the police are going to go right through that whole trailer. That's what all we do.
I'd like to touch on as far as, I tell you, that's one of the first things that I said to the tribal council, and really we were in the meeting. I don't want trailer houses, I want houses. Why would we put trailer houses? We were going to these FEMA places, and I said it just about every council meeting. Somebody came up and I seen on Facebook that they come and they told me, they told Scott people that we need houses, we're living in park. We got to see this every council meeting. I'm always pushing that north second, the lack of housing, that's a priority, it's crucial, and it's an emergency. We've got probably three generations living in a home. We think that is health conscious, because we have all the health problems that happen just out of that. I heard one of the mother was going to leave. This guy was there with his with his mother. I'm going to leave the kids here. I'm leaving you. We'll see you later. And now then they were stuck with the little kids and they're stuck with their mother. You know, as far as the house and all that kind of stuff, as far as that, there again is we have low income rooms, our housing, tribal housing, we have full rural housing, and we have a HIP program. You know, as far as fixing up these old homes and all that stuff, that's something that I really dislike because we're fixing these things up within 5 years, they're back in the same condition that they were in. Now, as far as the black hole and all that kind of stuff there, I don't know what it is to fix that stuff up. As far as the house, or if you already had it, you were moving your place in there. But maybe as far as go out to the plan to try to get out, I think the mortgage thing is a help. But then again, you don't have a plan that's going to come up in. Like I said, I was broke for 3 years on the tribal council. Buses were big buying houses, couldn't start any businesses. We had to keep these programs going. The government cuts unreal. I mean, the shoppers were just now finding out water. Imagine how much it was to push to get water down there. For everybody to have running water. We went through winter hauling water through a snowstorm that was very difficult. Most of the snow that we had, we were driving gonna be able to do with housing, believe me, I do say with housing quite a bit. And one of these times, I know we're gonna have to break it, but they're gonna need to come up with what we can afford, and then how we're gonna build these houses, and who's gonna take care of these houses. Our housing program is just about broke. You know, where do people get their rent, all this kind of stuff, the cost of money to run the house, you can't do it for free. Propane, electrical costs, I'm gonna show you the medical costs, I got all the things in there. So far this day, I've given out an advance donation. I got, about 351,000. That goes up for medical, for utilities, that people come and ask me to help out, they're paid. We've had about 16,000 medical, where they got to for medical expenses to the doctors, 181,000, 100,841. We have medical emergencies, we got 9,200 financial help. I need to have 121,000. Funeral expenses, part of the people helping with funerals, got 33,350. Now, is that as far as the other got 46? And therefore I say, try not to say no to anybody. If somebody comes up and asks me for help, believe me, I'll try to help them the best I can. If I can give out a new house every time or a new chair, boy, I have to do that. And our segment has grown immensely within the 3 years, as far as everybody coming to live in North Segment. As far as that,